Hey YouTube, it's Chuck. Good morning. So take you along with me today. I have a customer nearby that's got some weak hives, and they asked if I could sell them some capped brood frames, which is a great idea this time of year. Going into winter, if you've got weak hives, you need brood, you need bees. I've got some excess, so I'm going to go through my hives and find some frames with some brood, replace it with some foundation, some wax, and make sure they got plenty of sugar to keep drawing out the rest of this year. But I'm not going to weaken my hives too much, but just take off some excess that I can spare for this neighborhood beekeeper. The flow has started here in Jacksonville. The way I know that is that my sugar feeder has been out a week and has no bees on it. And a good telltale sign is the goldenrod is blooming. So I have goldenrod on the railroad tracks not too far from my house, so that's one of my signals. Goldenrod's blooming, the flow is on. Now I don't know if it's the goldenrod providing that nectar source, but the timing of it just seasonally is just something to keep in tune with. So that was the signal this year. Hopefully it'll show up on my broodminder scales. Maybe we'll show that in another video. But in any case, come along with me today. I'll probably do some fast forwarding in this video just because I'm going to be out here a little while, but I want you to have all the content that you're interested in. If I do fast forward the video, I will do it at 400 speed. So if you want to hear a conversation I might be having or watch it in real time, on YouTube you can usually slow down the video down to a quarter speed, which will give you the same normal speed if you want to do that. Just a little tip on how to watch videos on YouTube. Anyway, come along. All right, I'm back with you. I've got you on my neck mount, and for those of you that watched my videos last week, I just wanted to say thank you for your patience. The camera angle was not right. This camera angle is a little bit better. And also, for those of you that probably have noticed, I sniffle a lot when I'm making videos, mostly because of the smoke. I don't have a constant sniffle. It's when I have the smoker going, I do start to sniffle. And annoyingly, I noticed that my sniffle showed up on the voice a lot. I've lowered my microphone to try to improve that, but due to that, my voice might not be quite as loud. But please provide feedback on the quality of the videos if you find this is working any better. Okay, so let's start off in the nucleus. If you were here last week, you remember this nucleus had a brand new queen, and you can see my notes right here. The 23rd, she was marked and was laying, so that was great news last week. And they have had all of their sugar. And look at that, nice, healthy initial glance there. Love to see that. I don't think I'm gonna take any bees from this hive for my customer, just because they just got a brand new queen. They need to build up their own resources, but it's always good to just take a peek and see if you continue to see eggs. Yeah, you see that little one? It is drizzly out here today. I don't know if you can see out there on the pond, but it is raining, and rain and bees on non-sunny days can make for some not so good behavior. So we'll see if in general they're a little bit more testy today. Yeah, they are a little bit. I'm gonna have to keep them down. It's the rainy day, no sunshine. Isn't it fun just to learn about their behavior just by the weather? This drizzle is not going to turn into rain, so I looked at the radar, but yep. And my new mic location fell to the ground there, so let me see if I can improve this. We'll see if this is just this hive that's a young hive, or if all the hives are this testy. So this was the frame I put in there last week to have them start drawing out, and they have not drawn that one out at all yet. Yeah, see them coming to my hand? I'm gonna need you. Yeah, see, they're going after me a little bit. I'm just gonna check for one frame of eggs and then move on from them, but oh, popping them a little bit because of the propolis. There we go. You know, it's cooler today. It's in the 70s, and the propolis is harder, which makes taking a hive apart a little more difficult. There's the nectar from the sugar water. Nectar, good population of bees. No eggs on this side. There's the queen at the top of that frame. I'm gonna just go ahead and put them back now. I've seen her. Not gonna upset them any more than I already have on this cloudy day. I'm not wearing my veil yet. It's behind my neck, but I can tell that I'm probably gonna have to put it on, which might change the audio quality of this video. Trying to be gentle so I don't bump them again with this hard propolis today. This nook's a little bit tight. Okay, they are good to go. Nice. I didn't see eggs, but I saw the queen, so I don't need to go any deeper. They're already upset, you can tell. The behavior of the bees, and I'm going to give them some sugar just while we're at it, because they're young. The age of the hive can mean the age of a forager. You know, foragers, kind of start going out after 42 days. On a young hive, they might not have a full fleet of foragers, so keeping them fed as an optional food source make sure they won't starve as they're building up. All right, I am going to mark on there. Today for this video is the 29th. 29th, saw the queen, which is all I need to do there. All right, let's move over and see what we got here. We're gonna start on the strong side just to get a sense of this hive's mood. Roaches. All right. Good population of bees. I'm seeing wax all the way to here, so I'm going to be able to get at least one frame, maybe two out of this hive. We'll see what we see. No stings yet. Nice. So they have drawn this one out. This is a frame I'm going to turn around. It's a food frame. It's on the end. No queen. But I am just going to set it here out of the way. Continue to keep them smoked. Keep them calm if I can. Great looking brood frame. Yeah, this one's probably coming out. I'll set it aside as a candidate. And taking out frames, if you're going to leave bees on the frame, which I might do just for the length of the day to keep the brood warm, starting to draw this out. See that drone comb down at the bottom, or that comb they're drawing out off this frame? That's good. That means they're still taking the sugar. And there's the queen. So I'm going to go ahead and mark her. Not mark her. She's actually marked, but she's not very well marked. I do have a tip I'm going to show you guys today. See the queen here? This is another modification you can make. See the rubber band on here? It is just loosely connected on there, but that rubber band will hold that thing closed. As you guys have seen in some of my videos, these things can actually come apart on you while the queen is in here. And just for the purposes of this, let me show you. I've got another one in my pocket. All this is a rubber band wrapped around. So this is just your normal clear, cheap plastic with the spring in it. But if you take just a regular size rubber band, roll it around, and then over once, now it's got a little bit of a keep closed spring to it that's a little bit stronger. Just a tip, these rubber bands obviously can rot and stuff like that. The number of times you go around, keep it as loose as you possibly can, but where it's actually holding. I like to put it here at the edge, but just a little tip there. I've done this in the past. I didn't have it on video before, but you see I've got my queen, now she's in there, and it actually takes a little bit more strength, and it's constantly keeping it closed at the tip here versus this spring here. So she's aside. So this hive is definitely behaving better, but I'm going to keep the queen close to them so they don't get a little irritated that she's out. So that young hive was the one that was being a little bit testy. Nice population of bees here. Wow, another capped frame. This one looks really good too. All right, now that I've got my queen, I'm going to give a shake to these bees. And here's my hive butler. Just going to kind of show you guys what I'm doing here. I've got nice waxed up frames. There's some of my homemade foundation. Putting these frames in here. I like to have a thermometer if I'm just taking brood frames, depending on the bees, to keep an eye on the temperature. If it's really cool out, you know, you got to keep that brood at a decent temperature. Obviously the hive keeps it right around 90, 93 degrees. It can go cooler, but you definitely wouldn't want to chill them without nurse bees to keep them warm. So that's what that is for. All right, this hive might be strong enough to support 2 frames out of here. Let's keep going now that we know where the queen is. We can be a little quicker, recognizing the bees are annoyed today. Eggs, capped. Another good one. I'm gonna shake this one too. So I'm losing an extended acid frame there, which means I probably need to replace it. All right, I'm not going to take more than 2 frames out of a hive, but the way you put a hive back together is important too. Typically, you never want to put a frame of wax next to another empty frame of wax. So here I'm putting in one of my homemade foundations right next to 2 frames of brood. Now I'm going to put 2 frames of brood. Now that's a good one to put an extended sorry. I need to put another extended in here, but I'm going to probably put it on one of these that already has brood. New strip. I'm going to put in this other frame of brood. So we've got 1 frame of foundation, 2 frames of brood, and another frame of foundation. And that should be nice. And we'll put her back together now. And then the food frame. Remember I told you that food frame was starting to be built out on this side, so I'm going to go ahead and put the side they can continue to build out closer to the nest. All right, this hive donated 2 frames, but it is the largest hive out here. And here's the queen. Let me just show you how it I got to kind of open it a little bit harder, let her crawl out. Come on down, mama. Don't want to shake her too much. She'll find her way down. She's out. There she goes. Come on down. And she's inside. All right, this one's done. Checking the sugar stores, a little bit low, so I'm going to go ahead and give them some. All right, here, put it back together. There's one frame, good shot. Foundation here. Frame lots of Eggs. Let's begin it. All right, putting them back together, removing one frame, which was good. They had plenty of brood. Strong laying queen, and here she is. Let's let her go. And there she goes, down in the hive. And they need some sugar too. Lots of bees, first impression. So this could be maybe a 2-framer. I've got a total of one, well, maybe not, because this one's not drawn out yet. We'll take a look a little closer. Yeah, just starting to draw this one out. Good looking frame there. Capped. Fresh white wax. See over here to the right, they haven't drawn it out yet. They're doing good. I would expect I'd see a queen on this one. She has got eggs and all that bottom layer. She's just waiting on them to make space. I don't see her on this side. Maybe she's 1 or 2 frames away. Got stung again, but I squished that bee. So far, they've just been buzzy in the long lang, other than that one I just squished. There she is. Ooh, look how dark she is. Some of you may wonder why I keep catching the queen on every single hive, and the answer is honestly because I don't want to squish her while I'm manipulating all these bees. And that's a fact. And I've done it before. There's Mama. Good looking brood frame on a strong hive. I think this is a questionable decision to take this frame. It's building up, but it's got a lot of bees. This is definitely one I think I'm gonna make sure I don't take any bees with it. All right, I finished up in this yard and I've got 6 frames of brood here, and that is more than I expected, which is great. I think I weakened one maybe a little bit more than I might have normally done it, but it's a strong hive. And I think the interesting lesson we learned here today, or watched here today, was the drizzly windy day in the low 70s. The behavior of the bees was different. These are my same bees. You've seen me a few times now. They're different. They behave differently. And just something to keep in mind to make sure you've got your equipment with you, gloves if you prefer them, and your jacket on when it's kind of rainy. Otherwise, you might have a bad day. think this will be too much in there. Next a little bit. Just see how we're in it. Just try to see the nectar in there in the center frame. Check right next to it. This might have some honey already. Yeah, back on. Flip those on. Those are, this is not a few, right? That's not sure. I'll check. Not going to see up. Don't touch much. That's my outboard. Sun's starting to come out. Bees might start behaving a little bit better. Backfilling the nectar on the drone comb quite well. Which is what they're supposed to do. Put it down below first. Solid brood right in the middle. Perfect. So mama's doing good here. Gonna leave them alone. This is a single I've got ready for the flow. Won't produce much honey, but it's also pretty strong. Set it up well. Decide how we want to overwinter it later. Might be able to see that. Might be able to hide. Yeah. Notice how there's just not as many bees. So they might not be strong enough. We'll see. Let me just pop a few frames out here. We might need to take this one back down to a single knot and take the super off and just let them build, but we'll make the hive decide. Brood. Well, they're going to explode with that frame, and that was on the edge, so let's go in the middle. They might be just fine. Might just be a little bit behind the other one. Two frames of brood, eggs. Wow, it's all brood. 3 frames of brood. Four frames of brood. Yeah, this hive's fine. I don't know what I was worried about other than the fact it's building up just at the right time. Eggs. So this is 6 frames of brood. All right, these ladies are fine. No need to disrupt them anymore. They're a little bit testier than the last group. More brood. This is going to explode right during the flow, so they might actually do just fine. before I open up these doubles, I'm probably, just based on my experience with the singles, I'm just going to go ahead and glove up with these little white plastic gloves. These doesn't keep stings from going through, but it definitely lowers, because they're white, the number of stings I will get. Just a lot more bees, and they've already shown me today they're a little bit antsy, so. All right. Not a lot of bees on top. But we'll check a center frame or two just to see if they're backfilling at all. Not yet. Probably working in the lower frames. Yep, nothing up here yet. Okay, so these are frames I had on here from before that they were using as a food source. They may have eaten some of it, so they're probably going to have to refill it. Yeah, you can kind of tell how it's capped. So they've been eating this honey to survive. Yeah, see that over there? So they're starting to backfill this bottom frame. So this one's just fine. Got an extra super on here in case it happens quick. Take a peek. I'm not going to mess with these guys too much. Honestly, I'm just checking for health of the hives before the flow, or as the flow starts. Oh, look at that. First frame in the center of the second deep is all full of brood. Hatching out. Let's just see what an end frame looks like. Just like it should be, all honey. So this frame has plenty of stores. No need to mess with it. I'm just gonna take a peek down here to make sure nothing unusual is going on. Definitely nothing unusual. Looking good. All right, these guys are going back. That is an oxalic acid sponge. I normally don't use these. This is an experiment on my doubles. It has plenty of oxalic acid in there, but I'm gonna just play with these sponges on the double deeps only, because they have to be in between frames. Good temperament though. Those bees didn't bother me at all. Good population up top. Take a peek, see if they're backfilling. Nothing yet. Keeping it clean. No nectar yet. Good population of bees in here though. No reason to suspect any problems. See how I didn't see any bees over here? That just made me want to take a frame or two out. Just make sure there's nothing unusual. So they're drawing this out. Got a lot of work to do there. This one probably needs to be cleaned, but it's like I put a frame in here a while ago that they need to draw out. Queen cell. Uh-oh. So see how I got in there? Look at that. I'm gonna look for the queen, egg, evidence of laying, see what's going on with that. Maybe there's a supersedure going on. That is in the lower portion. Didn't expect that. But let's just kind of keep checking. Capped brood. Looking for eggs. They're not acting queenless. But this is a scenario where you do not want to kill a queen cell if you don't know what's going on. Yes, maybe that was just a rogue swarm cell. Shoot, this hive looks fine now in the middle. I mean, I don't have 6 frames of brood like that last one did, but that last single. Don't see the queen yet, unless she's unmarked. All right, lots of eggs and larvae in here. So she's here. There she is. You guys see her? Right there. All right, she's going back in, so I'm just gonna chalk that up to a random emergency cell, supersedure cell. She's fine, but that kind of makes me say, should I take this frame out? Now that I've seen the queen, she looks healthy, there's plenty of larvae, and just do a weird little split. You never know. It's always good for an experiment. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. Found the queen, lots of eggs, so even if they were doing a supersedure, they can make another one. But since I'm doing all this brood hatching today, I'm going to go ahead and split that queen cell out. It's late September. You never know what you're going to get, but it's an experiment for me. I'm going to put one of these homemade wax foundation frames I made yesterday in here, so they'll draw that out pretty quick. Interesting. Always learn something. Good population of bees. They're not overpopulated. Let's see what we got here. No backfill yet. Dense, looks good. Don't think I'm gonna have to take this one apart either. Just like we did the last double. Kind of pop in the top center frame in here and see what they're doing. Capped brood, top of the second. Pearly, she's doing good. There's Mama right there. So she was in the top of the second. Now because I got to put this back into a tight hive, I'm not going to squeeze her back in there. These are not cells, these are just cups. All right, so I'm just gonna, again, peek into the bottom to make sure there's nothing really bad going on. Population density is okay. Looks good here. I'm gonna put a single sponge in there like I did the other double. These are frozens while they're sticking together. Need a little bit more defrost time. The full dose would be 2 sponges, but I'm not going to give them a full dose because they've already got some strips in here. All right, Mama's going back in. Top box has got honey in it. See that? This is almost fully capped. I think this is the one I left in there from the spring that they didn't finish off. But if you go to the edges, it needs drawing out. I think this is the fuller one. I think I bottom supered this one. Yeah, see how they're starting to fill that one? So this is the flow starting to fill up the bottom because I bottom supered. Top one was already full. All right, so they got to work here. So they got plenty of room. Looks good under the excluder. Really good. Food looks good. Brood, wow. Lots of brood in these doubles. There's Mama. See her? Now, she's got a little pink on her and a little yellow on her because sometimes when I catch a, actually this is my POL line 2 queen. That's why she's double marked, because she's been my breeder. Try to remember special queens with removing, or I'm sorry, marking them just a little bit differently. She's doing good. Can you hear the bees? Either it's a heavy population or they're not happy. There's just so many larvae in this hive. As strong as it could be. Hear them? Woo! Take a peek in the bottom. Wow. I'd say that POL line queen's doing good. A little bit more disturbed though. Notice the temperament's different? They're not stinging me on the hands. I'm all covered up just while I'm doing these doubles, but you just notice the different behavior. I'm gonna come from this one from behind. Put her back in there. There she goes. They're not being nasty. They're just, I don't know, disturbed. Yeah, see, I got it marked on there, POL Queen. You might not be able to see that up here. POL Red SAR. Hadn't superseded her. All right, let's see. Another weakish one. This one I tried to build back up a few weeks ago. Not backfilling yet. Nothing up top. Yeah, these guys are gonna be fine. I mean, they may not make any honey, which is okay for a single. If they need the time, take the time. But I just don't want a weak hive to get sick or to have any sort of issues I'm not aware of. No backfilling there, very dark drone frame comb. There's Mom. You know what? I'm going to give this hive, believe it or not, one of my brood frames I got from the other apiary, because I think I'm going to have a little bit more brood than I need. In and out quick on this one. Not real strong, got some more brood. Put the super on just for good measure. That's now just drawn comb there. Probably won't make any honey. They could probably use a feeder. But the flow's on, so I'm gonna just try this. Keep a close eye on them. That one was close, meaning like to deciding, okay, GoPro's overheating a little bit, so I'm probably just gonna get a little bit more footage here, telling you what I'm gonna finish up doing. I've got the brood frames over here that I've been collecting. I've got my mini mating nukes to go, and the long line to go. And I'll probably put the frames from here into the box, and then add some frames to the one with the cell. That's my plan for the remainder of the battery. We'll see how long it goes.